Look how cute she is. We love her. Yes. So, oh my god. So, I'm just gonna teach you. Well, not gonna teach you, but I'm gonna give you some tips and give you my story on how I basically make money by reselling clothes online, and yeah, basically just how I make money by doing my favorite hobby, which is thrifting. That's basically what this video is about. So I have my laptop here. So if I'm going to look down a bit more in this video, it's because my laptop is, you know, sitting here and I made some notes on there, so I know what kind of topics I'm gonna talk about first and then after, you know, so it's not a whole big of a mess. I'm going to try to talk about this stuff a bit more chronologic. Yeah. So, gonna make this larger because I'm blind. First of all, hi, welcome if you're new. You probably are because my channel is very small. But it's fun, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah. I just want to make a little disclaimer first because I know there are some people that are against reselling, and I get that. Because, you know, reselling, you basically go thrifting and you find pieces for very cheap and you resell it. And I know some people don't like it because thrift stores are for people that are less wealthy, or, you know, don't have that much coin or don't want to give that much money to clothes. And I get it if that's the reason why you don't like reselling. But I also do want to say that a lot of thrift stores take advantage of the fact that a lot of people like to thrift lately, because I've been thrifting for years and I've seen that a lot of thrift stores that are really for like the poor people have started to skyrocket their prices. So, and some pieces that I resell are cheaper than some thrift stores. So I just wanted to put that in a little disclaimer because I just want to say that I get it, but there's just a lot more behind reselling, you know, it's a big effort as well. I first want to talk about why I started and how I started. So I started a bit before, you know, the whole lockdown. One of my friends found out about Vinted, and I wasn't Depop before, but I personally like to sell on Vinted. It's just the most practical and easy way to resell things because Vinted makes their own sending labels and stuff like that for you. So I was looking a bit around on Vinted, but it was basically because I had way too much clothes and I wanted to declutter, but I didn't want to throw it all away. I could earn a bit of money on that because I know it's still trendy, but I just don't like it anymore. And with that money I can buy new clothes that I would like, you know, so I wouldn't have to give any extra money to buy new clothes. Actually, the reason that I started, but I didn't take it serious at the beginning. But yeah, when, you know, the whole lockdown came, I didn't have much to do, so I was scrolling a bit on Vinted, you know, trying to find some cute clothes to make some Instagram pictures because I didn't have anything else to do. Yeah, I was scrolling on Vinted and I saw that a lot of people asked quite some high prices, so I was like, oh, I really want to try that because, you know, I kind of have a sense of what's trendy and what would sell well quite often of the time. But I just wanted to give it a shot because I thrift so much. Yeah, it was just a whole new world opening for me, you know, because I didn't have earnings anymore from my student job because everything was shut down. So this was a way for me to make a bit more money, you know, as a student. So I'm also going to share you my profit of a few months. So first of all, I wanted to say that I especially sell on Vinted, so this is only my earnings of Vinted. It's just because I'm not really busy with Depop. You know, these tips work for both, so that's why, you know, the title is the title of this video. But I just prefer Vinted, and that's just a personal opinion. Should I start with last year first? Okay, so in September when I started to take it serious, I had a profit of perfectly 300 euros. So in dollars that would be 338.60. Then in October I had a profit of 410 euros and 80 cents. Then in November I had a profit of 503 euros and 60 cents. In December it was a bit lower, but I think that's just because it were the holidays and stuff like that, and I also didn't post that much on my Vinted and Depop because, you know, I was busy with my exams and family and stuff like that. But I made a profit of 243 euros and 70 cents, which is quite a lot for just reselling clothes. And then in January I made a really good profit. So the profit was 758 euros and 45 cents, which is really a lot, you know. That's almost a loan for some people. So just to say that if you are good at this and taking this serious, you can make a lot of money out of this. Just that's what I'm trying to say, and that's why I'm basically sharing my profit. And then in February I had a profit of 235 euros, which isn't that much, but it's like kind of my stable profit that I have every month, so that's nice. So the next topic that I wanted to discuss is tips for thrifting. Because if you live in a big city and you go to a thrift store to find pieces to resell, I can say 9 out of the 10 times your thrift store is going to be a lot more expensive than if you would go to like smaller cities. I do have to say I thrift most of the time in smaller cities because of the prices that are so low, but that's also because I thrift for trendy pieces like Y2K and vintage pieces. But I also thrift for designer pieces. So a tip for you is that if you're more looking for like Y2K pieces to sell, or just something you can have quite some profit on it without losing too much money, because, you know, you're never sure if it's going to sell, so it's always a risk. So if you want to have a lower risk, you should go to smaller cities because the thrift stores are more cheaper there. And another tip for thrifting is go often. But with often, I mean like a few times a week, because I have friends that ask me like, oh, how do you find so much cool things? Like, you always find designer pieces or something like that. But that's just because I go so many times in a week. And right now it's a lot less because I don't have the time for that with school and stuff like that. But I still go like 3 to 4 times in a week, which before I did like 5 to 6 or 7 times. No, not 7. That's exaggerated. But like 5 to 6 times a week I did it, and that's a lot, and I know that. But I made a lot of profit, so it paid out, you know. Yeah, you know, just have to look at what you want to sell. If you want to sell like Y2K pieces, you better go to a smaller city because your profit is going to be bigger than if you find those kind of pieces in a big city. But if you are planning on selling designer pieces, and I do both, I do spend more on the designer pieces that I thrift because I think it's worth to take the risk for that, because I can ask a lot more for that, you know, because the Y2K pieces that I sell, or just trendy pieces, I sell around 15 to 30 euros, or maybe 50 if it's a jacket or something, or like boots or anything like that. I can ask higher. But if it's a designer piece, if it's just a top, you know, it can run from 70 to 100 to 200 or 150 euros, you know, so that price range is a lot higher. But for those pieces I pay like 50 or like 25 euros. Like it's so different from piece to piece, and you know, finding non-designer pieces, it's just better if it's like 4 euros or something like that, or 2 euros for a top. Does it make sense what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just trying to give you some tips, basically. And then for some tips by selling your pieces online. These count for VINTED and DEPOP as well, but especially for VINTED because I work with that the most, you know. First of all, take quality pictures because I even tested this, like, oh, and also pictures that you are wearing the piece, because I have a lot of the time that I like a piece, even myself, when I'm like shopping online. You know, it's just a flat picture of like the shirt on a table or something like that. I don't like that, and a lot of people don't like that because you want to see how it looks like on a person, and it takes a lot of time to put everything on, take pictures and stuff like that. But do it, because you will sell it a lot faster than if you just hang it on a clothing rack and take pictures like that. Also, if you're taking your pictures, do it with your back camera of your phone. And also don't put any filters on it or like edit your pictures, because then you're just misleading your customers, and that's really not good. Like, you just want to put the raw pictures on there so they really know how the color is going to look. Maybe even show the color in different lightings if it's like with glitter in the fabric. Like, make also some pictures with flash, but don't put like a filter or edit the colors of your pictures, because that's just misleading, if that makes sense. Also, I try to post weekly because, you know, you get on the front page of like the search things and stuff like that, and you just get more chance to get noticed by a lot of people if you are posting frequently. Because if they're searching for Y2K, and I have in my title Y2K crop top, which is also a tip, I add Y2K or vintage in front of the title of the item. So if it's a crop top, I would call it Y2K crop top, or like Y2K long sleeve black top, you know, just because if people are searching for Y2K, my item will pop up as well because it's Y2K in it. And so if you post weekly and people are, you know, continuously looking at Y2K and stuff like that, they will see your page and they will notice your page and the pictures. And if you have like good pictures, your pictures will stand out of the other pictures, you know. So that's also why you need to have good quality pictures. Then for the caption, I'm so lazy in captions, I'm not gonna lie, but if I'm like selling a pants or anything like that, I will put my waist measurements in it and what the real sizes of the pants, and like my height if they want a reference for how long the pants would fall on them or anything like that. Because, you know, I don't make long captions because I don't read them myself, so I'm like, I don't have to post it. You know, I'm just trying to think like, what would I like to see as a customer? And for me, I don't need a big caption, so I don't do that, and I never had any problems with that or trouble. If people really want to know something, they will like direct message you, anything like that. So yeah, don't worry about that, but if you like to do that, you can. It's cute. I really adore it if people do it, like it's so fancy and professional looking. But I just don't know. I'm just too lazy, okay? I'm not gonna lie. And then for packaging and shipping labels, first of all, if it's about Depop, always put in your bio or something like that, like that people have to direct message you before they're buying. Because, for example, if I have like standard international shipping on 10 euros, but someone lives in like the US, it will cost 20 euros or like 30 euros to ship it. That's also why I don't really like Depop, because it's always like, you know, how much is the shipping price going to be, and you know, with what kind of shipping company do I have to send it with and stuff like that. And VINTED just does it for you, you know, your labels are done, and that's just so easy. You just have to download it and print it, and that's why I also like VINTED that much. But for packaging, basically, I just like to recycle. So, for example, if my mom goes to work or anything like that, and they have like empty boxes there or anything, big envelopes that they don't need anymore, or some paper bags or some plastic bags, she takes it home with her for me, so I can use it as my packaging. Or we just keep like small boxes and stuff like that to put the clothes in. Yeah, so I just like to recycle basically for my packaging. I don't think you need to buy new packaging. Okay, it looks more professional, but that's just think about the planet as well if you're doing this, you know. So, and it's even cheaper for you, so why wouldn't you? And yeah, I think that's it. I think those were all my tips for you. So basically, just to make a little list for you guys of the tips if you want to write it down or anything like that. First of all, thrift frequently. Thrift in different areas just to explore, to get to know your thrift stores around you. Third of all, for selling is take good quality pictures, post frequently on the platform as well, so like weekly or anything like that. Use good captions, good titles like Y2K crop top or anything like that, for example. Do a reasonable pricing as well, like you know what you would want to pay for something, but you can always try to ask higher, you know. And packaging, just recycle, and that's my tips that I have for you. Oh, and also if you're working with Vinted, another tip is to lower your item in like €1 or €2 or anything like that if it has like a lot of favorites but it isn't sold yet, because those people that have favorited it will get a notification of like, oh, your item is like lowered in price, you know, but they will remember again that they have favorited that piece, because some people just add so many things to their favorites that they end up forgetting what they favorited. You know? It's good to give them that kind of little reminder as well, and it works, it really works, because I've done it quite a lot of time. And if it isn't sold, then just up your price again to the first price, to the original price, and then lower it again, and then they will get that notification again. And I know this kind of looks like spam, but just don't do it every day, of course, but from time to time, you know, if a piece is already such a long time in that wardrobe of yours online, just do it, and it works, in my opinion. Okay. Also, a little Vinted tip is to I know you can like boost your closet or like boost some of your items, and if you do it with the like designer pieces, I think it's good to do from time to time, because they get lost in a lot of things, especially if you're like selling things like Burberry or just some or Prada or anything like that that gets boosted on there a lot of the time. Try it maybe from time to time if you don't have like a big following yet, because that means they will lock your item like on top of the list of like the new items. Even if it is a new, it will keep up longer because you boosted your item, so more new people will see that item, you know. Yeah, if you like, for example, if you look at category of Helio Emile and Burberry, you know, not a lot of people have Helio Emile, so it's not gonna be like plus 99 items in like one day, you know. It's gonna be like plus 1 item in a whole month or like 2 months, and that's sad for me because I love that designer, but okay. But Burberry, it's really like plus 100 pieces in one day, like, and with Prada the same. So sometimes it does work to boost an item. You have to pay for it though, so take that accountable. But if you really feel like this piece is worth it and it will help it, and if you have a decent price that you ask for, like, you know, if it's a designer piece, let's say you have like, you ask €100 for it and then you have to pay like €2 to boost it, it doesn't matter, you know. But don't boost like little Y2K tops, because that's, no, don't do that. That doesn't make sense. No, but just do what you want to do. Try things out, you know, try different styles out. Also try to, you see I'm starting to ramble again, but you know, those things come up right now. So also try to stay in kind of a niche by selling. And what I mean with that is, you know, I sell pieces that I would like to wear myself. And it's hard to do that in the beginning because you want to keep every piece, but you know you can because you want to earn that coin. But you know, I still make Instagram pictures with them and then I just resell them, you know, so I have a picture of them, so I'm okay with it. But it's just, you know, getting used to, because you like the piece, but after a while you will get used to it and you're like, I love it, but I'm gonna sell it because I know I'm not gonna wear it enough, you know. And that's also what I like about reselling, is that you really get a sense of what you really like and what you just like. And with that I mean, like, if I'm thrifting something, I know like, oh, this I'm really gonna wear a lot, and this I'm gonna wear sometime, and this I'm gonna wear often, you know? So if it's a sometime item, but you still think it's like really cute and you wanted to maybe try out a new style or anything like that, you can just resell it, you know? And that's so fun about it, because you can try new styles out, and you know, it's your style as well, because you like that item and you would want to wear it, so it will sell then. Because I've tried pieces that I thought like, oh, this is trendy, but I wouldn't wear this myself, and it doesn't sell. So yeah, I guess that's also a little tip. But I'm gonna end the video here because I can talk about this for such a long time, but I wanted to make this video because I have a lot of friends that ask me how I resell, and you know, I don't know, maybe I want to motivate some of you if you're like debating on if you want to do it or not, you know. Now I can lead them to this video. No, but for real, I just get it asked quite often, like, oh, what is it about? And you know, maybe there are other peoples online that are searching for those answers or tips, and maybe in this video there were some new tips about it that you didn't know yet. And if so, I'm glad I could help you. And if you like these kind of videos, just let me know. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, just subscribe. I would appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful, or if you just liked it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video if you're gonna stay. So bye guys.